Robert, I need to talk to you right now. You realize that almost from the start I had my doubts about the spa. Not about the spa itself, but what was going on there.
Go on.
So if something was going on there, you wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not easily surprised.
I know you're not. That's exactly the point I'm making.
Holly.
What?
10 minutes ago, you announced that you wanted to have a talk to me.
Yes, I know.
And for the last 10 minutes, I've been trying to follow you.
Trying to follow me? Why do you say that?
You haven't said anything.
Well, of course I've said something. I've reminded you of my suspicions about the spa.
That's hardly a bulletin to me.
Well, I haven't finished yet. If you'll remember, you pooh-poohed my suspicions at the time.
For that mea culpa, I am sorry.
Well, the more you doubted my suspicions, the more curious I got, and the more determined I was to find out what was going on there, no matter what I had to do. Do you understand that?
So far.
Well, as it turned out, I'll get it.
Whoever that is, get rid of them. I want to hear what you're saying, or at least trying to say.
Good morning, Holly.
How about it?
Good morning, Robert. Well, I've laid out our day's work, and believe me, it's a killer. First, I made a list of anyone who might have a motive for murdering Beatrice.
Yeah, a long one there, I'm sure.
Well, in that case, maybe we should
wait a minute,
continue
excuse
our
me.
discussion later.
Did I interrupt something?
No, it's all right.
Look, why don't you two continue? Holly, if your refrigerator is still in the same place, I could sure use a glass of milk.
Certainly, why don't I...
No. Let me, I can find...
Holly, look,
All right.
Holly, I'm sure Bert can find his own way around the kitchen. Now, you were telling me what you had to do to confirm your suspicions regarding the spa.
I would hate to interfere with, your investigation into a possible homicide, so we can always talk later.
Bert?
Yeah, you said? You and Holly through?
For now. Okay, let's get on with our job. We're up to our ears in suspects, so let's sort them all out and plan a strategy.
Okay.
Well, I think instead of running down each of the suspects, why don't we deal with what was removed from Beatrice's body and then see where that takes us?
All right. Okay. Then I think that the photographs we found on her body are our best lead.
Agreed. So do I. All right, what's the lead we're looking for here?
Well, to me, one of two things are clear. Either Beatrice had a camera hidden in that massage room and took those incriminating pictures herself.
Oh, Leo took them.
Right. And then later on, Beatrice stole them.
I like the idea that Leo took them. Let's deal with that.
All right.
Okay. Because the fact that the photographs were taken from a hidden camera when not in the room would seem to indicate that Beatrice had some form of technical know-how. And I don't think she had that.
Me either.
But it's got to be checked into.
Right.
Now, as for the stock certificates, well, they were issued in Lorena's name. They must have been removed from her safe at the spa.
Ah, Beatrice stole them.
A fair assumption, but again, let's check into it.
Yeah, one thing that doesn't ring a bell with me, of all the things we found on Beatrice's body, is that page that was ripped out of the Bible. Of all the people I've talked to, there's only one that I could even hook up with that, and it's really a small maybe.
Anybody mention that specifically?
No, but the night of the murder, Stella came up with kind of an odd saying.
Like what?
Well, right after Beatrice was murdered, Stella said, "Now Lila will stay."
Did you question her about that?
Well, sure I did. I didn't get any place at first, but then when I pressed her, she admitted that Lila Quartermain said that she would leave town if Beatrice didn't.
Leave Port Charles permanently?
Yeah. What do you think of that for a motive?
I think it's certainly a part of one. Regarding this Bible page, there's something about that I haven't been telling you.
Oh, yeah?
Well, only because up until now it didn't relate to any crime. You see, Lila was married before she married Edward.
Really?
Yeah, well, it was quite a while back, and the marriage was rather short-lived. Except that lately there seems to be a suggestion that Lila was never actually divorced before she married Edward.
You're kidding.
No joke, and I'm sure the Quartermains don't find it funny.
Ooh.
Now, the situation here is that the entire Quartermain fortune comes under jeopardy, under the rules laid down for the Quartermain Trust. That Bible page was proof of the fact that Lila was indeed married before she married Edward.
Yeah, but are we sure that she didn't get a divorce?
Well, I assume that there's no written evidence of that. I know there was an effort to find some, but nothing ever turned up.
And then Beatrice had that page from the Bible. Now there is a motive for you, especially if she was using it to blackmail the Quartermains.
I agree, but that doesn't eliminate the other people that also have strong motives. Lorena, Sylvia, Mrs. Barrington. Well, as you said before, we're dealing with a long list here. Scorpio. Yes, Jake, what is it? Today? Yeah. Yeah, I could make that. Half an hour? All right. See you then. Jake wants to see me at the spa.
Did he say why?
Only that it concerns Beatrice. Naturally, of course, I'll meet him there. The spa is on my list of rounds for the day. What's up?
Nothing. I just can't get over the idea that Lila might not have gotten a divorce. That makes her a bigamist.
Not to mention what it makes Alan.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm meeting Jake here. Has he arrived yet?
No, but he's expected any minute.
How's Jimmy Lee holding up?
Still not over the shock.
Is he around?
No, he's out seeing about funeral arrangements for his mother. In a way, it's a blessing.
What way?
Well, I mean, he's so busy with that he doesn't have time to brood over what's happened.
Loss of a loved one's always difficult. And where homicide's concerned, it generally makes it worse.
Still doesn't seem real to me.
I'm sure not.
Beatrice and I work so closely together.
Yeah, that's one reason I'd like to talk to you privately. I feel that I have some questions that you might be able to answer.
Now? I mean, it's really a busy day for me here.
Well, what I had in mind was an interview in my office. What would be a convenient time?
Well, let's see. It's really hard to say exactly when I could get free.
How about finding some time this afternoon?
If you say so.
Shall we say 4:30?
Oh, Robert, I'm sorry if I kept you waiting. I'm running a little late.
No problem. Gave Miss Sharp and I a moment to work out a time problem.
If you'll excuse me, I have some work to do in my office.
You want to talk to me about Beatrice?
Yeah, Jimmy Lee asked me if I might be able to cut through some red tape for him.
About what?
He needs to look through his mother's suite here at the spa.
What's he after?
Well, he didn't say exactly, just something to do with a personal paper he needs to get his hands on. He couldn't get in, of course, because your boys have the place sealed off.
Routine in a homicide case.
Of course.
I know what he's after, because I have it.
Well, what can I tell him?
That it's classified as evidence.
You have any idea when you might release it to him? You sounded pretty anxious about it.
Not at the moment, and rightful possession will have to be established first.
Sounds a little mysterious, Robert.
Just following the numbers in a homicide case.
All right, that's exactly what I'll tell him. I'm due in court.
Listen, mate, I need a bit of time with you. I have some questions about Beatrice.
Oh?
You going to cooperate?
Of course.
Good. I'll be in my office this afternoon. Can I expect you?
I'll be there.
Great.
See you later.
Hello?
Oh, Robert, what are you doing here?
Oh, just touching a few bases, so to speak. I'm sorry about this morning.
This morning?
Well, you left and I got tied up with Bert.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well, it does to me. I mean, you wanted to tell me something.
I did?
Yeah, well, you seemed to make a point of it. Only you never said what it was.
Gosh, isn't funny. I can't, whatever it was, I can't remember what it was. I can't have been terribly important.
I got the impression it was.
Did I say so?
Well, not in so many words, but... You have no idea what it was?
Not a clue. But, as I said, it must have been something trivial. How's the investigation going?
Slowly. But even at this stage, I'm reminded of something that often happens in an investigation.
What's that?
Well, people involved, or indirectly involved, sometimes get frightened that their own personal secrets will be revealed as a byproduct of the process.
Well, I suppose that's true.
I know it is. And usually their fears are groundless. If they own up to everything they know, it's best to let the authorities figure out what's important and what isn't.
Yeah, of course. Robert,
Yeah?
Robert, sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
Well, I just have to finish stocking these shelves. That's what I was going to say.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes, can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for some night cream.
Oh, sure. Well, we have quite a few here. These are really quite nice. Of course, it all depends on what kind of skin you have. It's, these are nice. But maybe we can get a different one.
Thank you for coming so promptly. Please, have a seat. I could have brought you down here for official questioning, but I didn't think that was necessary. I mean, I assume you want to help. You do, don't you?
Of course I do. I told you before, Beatrice was a very dear friend, and whoever murdered her should certainly be caught and made to pay for the crime.
That's what I intend to accomplish. Let's talk about some stock certificates. Principally those found on the person of the deceased.
That stock is mine.
Well, I realize that. It's issued in your name. But how did Beatrice come into the possession of it?
It was stolen from the safe in my office.
By Beatrice?
Well, I can't swear to that, no, but someone certainly robbed my safe.
Then why didn't you employ the normal course of action and report the theft?
Because I assumed that it was done by someone on the premises, someone who had learned the combination.
Go on.
Well, I didn't want any bad publicity for the spa, so I'd hoped that eventually I would be able to find out who it was and settle things on my own.
And you suspected it was Beatrice who committed the crime?
I did. And that's another reason why I didn't go to the police.
What is?
Jimmy Lee and I are very close. I certainly couldn't have his mother arrested.
Anything else taken from the safe?
Some cash and some spa receipts, nothing else.
A large amount of cash?
No.
So, we're dealing with a small amount of cash and some routine receipts.
Nothing else.
Unless you've got something more to tell me, there'll be no further questions.
Well, I only hope you catch whoever did it.
I intend to. Thank you for coming.
Anytime.
Yeah. Ask him to come in. Thanks for coming.
Robert, I'll help in any way I can. I just noticed Loretta Sharp leaving the office.
Right.
Any significance in her being here?
Not really. I'm interviewing a large number of people at the moment. Let's talk about Beatrice's suit against the Quartermains.
The Quartermains and the spa.
Right. But, as we know, Boulan Pharmaceutical owns Spa, and the Quartermains own Boulan Pharmaceutical, which means the Quartermains are the principal defendants.
Correct.
With the most to lose.
Also correct.
Tell me, she have a good case?
I hope you understand, Robert, that just because the plaintiff is deceased doesn't necessarily mean that the case is going to be dropped. I mean, her heirs could very well continue the suit.
The heir being Jimmy Lee.
Right. I also hope you understand that since I am still the counsel on record for the plaintiff, I can't discuss in any detail the merits of the case.
All right. Off the record, do you think she had a good case?
In my opinion, yes. She was definitely injured, and according to my investigation, both Edward Quartermain and the spa were responsible.
So she could have taken Edward for millions.
Definitely. And I know where you're leading.
You do?
Isn't that obvious? You're a little worried that Jimmy Lee may be right.
About what?
That the Quartermains had an excellent motive for murder.
Well, I can't be specific about that at the moment. This is a complicated case, and my investigation has just begun.
I will agree with you there. It is a complicated case. Well, if you have nothing more for me, I'll be on my way.
Not at this time, mate, but thanks for the cooperation.
Anytime you need anything, you just give me a call.
Yeah. A very complicated case. Oh, Holly. Why can't you sleep?
I notice you're not doing a very good job of it yourself.
Am I keeping you awake?
In a way.
Sorry.
Well, it's sort of inevitable.
How so?
Well, you always get sort of wound up when you're involved in a case.
Are we leading to separate bedrooms?
No, I was just trying to explain that I get sort of wound up too, you know, it's catching, you know what I mean?
Go on.
That's all. I was just thinking about the case.
Any particular thoughts about it?
Lots of them.
Would you want to share them?
Well, it's questions mostly, no answers. I just can't figure out how 4 different drugs would have been involved in Beatrice's death. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that before.
Neither have I.
It's so strange.
Very. You know what intrigues me?
The 4 different drugs?
Oh, there's that too. But, I meant the way that you empathize with me when I'm trying to solve a case.
Well, I always have.
Guess I've always taken it for granted. But I should have told you how much I do appreciate it.
You've also resented my interference,
Only when I thought you might have been in danger.
which was often.
But, look, Holly, you do understand. One of the qualities that our marriage has is this rapport.
Yes, I know that, Robert.
In any case, it means that, well, we usually know what the other's thinking.
True.
What the other would do or say in any given situation, even before it happens.
Yes, I know.
We couldn't have come this far without trusting one another.
I know. And I get the feeling that you're leading up to something. Are you?
Any idea what it might be?
No?
Not even an intimation?
None. Though there is something I would like to talk to you about.
Whatever's on your mind.
It's been on my mind for a long time.
What is it?
It's about my more or less shady past.
What about it?
Well, is it ever a liability to you? I mean, is your job as the police commissioner?
Well, I've never noticed. Why should it?
I was just wondering. I mean, I know your job is very important to you.
You know it is.
How important?
Important enough to do my best, especially in a potential homicide case. Do my best and let the chips fall where they may.
Yes, I thought you might say something like that.
Sounds as if you're not too happy with the answer. Darling,
Is there anything bothering you?
No, nothing's bothering me.
But if it were, I mean, you'd tell me, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I hope so.
Well, I think I'm about ready to go to sleep.
I hope so.
Good night.
Pleasant dreams.
You too.